Okay, what we're going to look at today are similar figures. Okay, you have a worksheet in front of you, the problems I'm going to be doing are going to be off of worksheet 42, and then you're going to go on and do 44 and 45 on your own. Okay, so make sure you follow along. Do these as I do these up on the board for you. These are dealing with similar figures. Now, a similar figure is going to be same shape, just a little bit different size in most cases. So if you look at these two triangles, obviously this one's a little bit smaller. Here's what we got to find. We got to find the value of x. Okay, now just to point out a few things that are here, you're going to notice these arcs in the corners, okay, the angles. What those are there for is so that in case they twist or they turn it a little bit, you can find what you need to find on these. So on this one, they have not twisted or turned it at all, and my drawings aren't the greatest, but they're good enough to tell what's going on with it. What we need to do is we need to take something off of the small one that has a corresponding side that's given off of the larger one. Corresponding sides are the same side on the other figure, okay? So in other words, where it's 5 on the small one, that corresponds to 10 on the larger one. Okay, so that's the proportion we're going to use. So we're going to set it up like this. I'm going to take 5 off of the small one. I'm going to make a little note that that's off of the small one. And I'm going to take 10 off of the large one. And I'm going to make a little note there that that comes off of the large, because when I set up my proportion, I want to keep everything off of the small across from small, everything off of the large triangle across from the large. Okay, so now what I have to solve for is x. And x is off of the larger triangle. So the x needs to go on the bottom right here. It's important that this gets set up right. Okay, now what does x correspond with? In other words, what's the same side on the smaller figure? That's 7 right here. Those are corresponding sides. 7 and x are the same size, or same side on each figure. Okay, so now I got it set up. I have 3 of the 4. So I can use cross products to solve it. So I can go this way, 10 times 7, okay, which would be 70. Okay, and I can cross here and get x times 5 is 5x. So 5x equals 70. Okay, so divide both sides by 5 and you'll have your answer. So what we're going to end up with here is 70 divided by 5. So you should get that x equals 14. Okay, so this side that we're asked to find here is actually 14. And it makes sense, you know, this one is twice as large as this one, so this should be twice as large as that one. So you could solve that one by noticing that it's twice the size as well, but most of them won't be quite like that. All right, here's another one. Now, same scenario here. Let's take something off of, this one here is a smaller one. Take something off of the small one that's given, that has a corresponding side off the large one that's given. Okay, so 17 is given, and it corresponds with 51 off of the large one. So that's the proportion I want to use. 17 off of the small corresponds with 51 off of the larger one. So that's how I need to set that up. Okay, now x is on the larger one that I have to solve, so I got to keep it on the bottom here. And x corresponds with 22 off of the smaller one. So once again, small's across from small, large across from large here. Now we'll cross multiply. Okay, you can use your calculator to do that. You do not have to show your work when you do the cross multiplying here. Just go 51 times 22 and then divide that by 17. So divided by 17, and you should get that x equals 66. And make sure that that answer makes sense, okay? And 66 does make sense. If this is 17 and this is 51, obviously this is going to be quite a bit more, okay? 3 times more, isn't it? If we times 17 times 3, we get 51. 22 times 3, we get 66. So that one is 3 times the size. Okay, let's go on to another one. Same scenario. Let's take a corresponding side from the small that has a corresponding side from the larger one given. In this case, 3 corresponds with 15. All right, and this was off the small one, this was off the larger one. Okay, we want to find x, which is off of the larger one, so I have to put it large across from large, and x corresponds with 7, so I put my 7 right here. Okay, so I cross product again to solve this, so 15, okay, 15 times 7 is 105, divided by 3 is 35. So x equals 35 here for your answer. All right? Let's look at another one. Two triangles here, very similar. Neither one of them is twisted or turned at all. So 8's on the small. Okay, that corresponds with 12 off of the large. Small, large. I always make a little note which one is which so I don't confuse them. Okay, so now 18 off of the large corresponds with G off of the small. So this one is a little different setup. Okay, the G is going to go right here. Okay, we keep small across from small, and G corresponds with 18 off of the large, so large across from large. Now we can go ahead and do cross multiplying. So 18 times 8 divided by 12 will give us our answer. 18 times 8 is 144, divided by 12 is 12, so G ends up equaling 12. So this here is 12. Okay, here's another one. Now this one's a little more challenging because they've twisted it a little bit. They've rotated it. Okay, they've actually taken this one and they've turned it. Okay, so you do got to pay attention to a few things. You gotta, if you wanna stand this one back up, redraw it standing up and label it so it matches. Otherwise, if your spatial relations are pretty good, you could probably find them. Okay, 27 on the large. Okay, corresponds with 9 on the small. Okay, if you stand that one up, it's going to be the same right here. Okay, and off of the larger one here where it's 6, okay, where it's 6, that corresponds with x on the smaller one. That's what we have to find. Okay, so there is our problem now. So we got 9 times 6, which is 54. So 54 divided by 27 is 2. Okay, so x is equal to 2. All right? And if we take a look at number 6, this is the last one on this sheet. Now this one hasn't been twisted or turned at all. So fairly basic here. We're taking this off the small, which is 2.5. 2.5 from the small corresponds with 10 from the larger one. We want to find x, which is on the larger one, so keep it down here, and that corresponds with 6.5 off of the small. So now cross multiply. 10 times 6.5 is 65, so 65 divided by 2.5, and we get 26 for x. So x here is 26. All right, so that's how you do these. All right, that's the first 6. What I want you to do is continue on doing the rest of them. Now some of them are going to be a little bit more challenging, especially if they're turned or twisted a little bit. So you're going to have to pay close attention, find the corresponding sides, and you know, cross multiply and solve. You may use a calculator. Good luck.